Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Medical Extreme. Today we're going to study about ulna. Ulna is a long bone and it is the medial side bone of forearm, and the bone which is present on the lateral side is radius. Ulna is homologous to fibula of lower limb. So guys, this is the ulna, and this is the upper part, this is the shaft, and this is the lower part. This is the anterior view of ulna, and this is the posterior view of ulna. This is the lateral view of ulna, and this one is the medial view of ulna. For better understanding of ulna, I divided this topic into 7 parts. First one is bony landmarks, second is site determination, third is borders, fourth is surfaces, fifth is ossification and blood supply, sixth is attachments, and 7 is clinical anatomy. Let's start with bony landmarks. First one is olecranon process. So it is present on the upper part of ulna, and you see this hook-like structure. This is the olecranon process. It has 5 surfaces. This one is the anterior surface, and that right one on the top, this is superior surface. At the back, this is posterior surface, and this one is lateral surface, and this is medial surface. Second is coronoid process. So this projection like structure you see, this is the coronoid process. It also has 4 surfaces. This one is the superior surface, this one is anterior surface, this is lateral surface, and this one is medial surface. Third one is ulnar tuberosity. So this marked structure you see, this is the ulnar tuberosity, and it is present on the anterior surface of coronoid process. This is supinator crest, and this is radial notch, and radial notch articulates with head of radius to form superior or proximal radioulnar joint. And this is how it articulates with head of radius. Next is trochlear notch. So this marked area, this is the trochlear notch, and it articulates with the trochlea of humerus. This is the trochlea of humerus, and this is how it articulates with humerus. And this tip, this olecranon tip, this structure is responsible for limiting the hyperextension of elbow joint. Let's come to the lower part of ulna. So this is the head of ulna, and it articulates with the ulnar notch of radius to form inferior or distal radioulnar joint. And this really suspended structure you see, this is the styloid process. It lies in posterior-medial direction. So like this is the anterior view, so it should lie posteriorly and medially. Next is side determination. So this trochlear notch should always facing in forward direction or anteriorly. And if we talk about lateral border, which is sharp and crest-like, so this is the sharpest structure you can see. So this must be the lateral border, which should face laterally. And if we talk about styloid process, as I already tell you, it lies in posterior medial direction. And by applying all these conditions, I can easily determine which side of bone is this. And this one is left side bone. Now let's talk about borders. As you know, lateral border is the sharpest one. So this line, this marked line you see, this is the lateral border. It is continuation of supinator crest. This is the supinator crest, and it continues from here and goes down to end at lateral side of head. And if you talk about anterior border, which is rounded and thick, it starts from medial side of ulnar tuberosity. This is ulnar tuberosity. It starts from here and it goes down to end at medial side of styloid process. This is medial side of styloid process. This one is posterior border, which is subcutaneous, and it starts from this triangular area and it goes down to end at base of stellar process. Next part is surfaces. So there are three surfaces of ulna: anterior, posterior and medial. So the area lies between the anterior border and the lateral border is known as anterior surface, and the area lies between the lateral border and the posterior border is known as posterior surface, and the area lies between the posterior border and the anterior border is known as medial surface. Next part is ossification and blood supply. So there are three ossification centers present in ulna, in which two are secondary and one is primary. Let's talk about primary ossification center first. So the primary center appears at 8th week of intrauterine life, and it is responsible for the ossification of shaft and upper part of bone except olecranon process. And in case of secondary ossification center, for the olecranon process, the secondary center appears at age of 10 years and fuses at 16 years, and it is responsible for fusion of olecranon to rest of ulna. For lower part, the secondary center appears at age of 5 years and fuses with shaft of ulna at age of 80. And if we talk about blood supply, so the anterior interosseous artery gives branches to the nutrient artery of ulna. Next part is attachments. First we talk about the muscles which get inserted on the ulna, and the first muscle is triceps brachii. So this muscle get inserted on the top of olecranon, that is superior surface of the olecranon process. This is the olecranon process, superior surface. And second muscle is brachialis. So brachialis is inserted on the anterior surface of coronoid and the ulnar tuberosity. So this marked area represent insertion of brachialis. And the third muscle is enconeus. And enconeus get inserted on the lateral part of olecranon and upon 1/4 posterior surface of shaft. And this marked area represent the insertion of enconeus. Now we will talk about the muscles which originated from the ulna. So first one is supinator muscle, and it originates from the supinator crest. This is the supinator crest. Second is ulnar head of flexor digitorum superficialis, and it arises from the tubercle at medial margin of coronoid process. So this area represents the origin of flexor digitorum superficialis. And third one is ulnar head of pronator teres, and it also originates from the medial margin of coronoid process. Fourth one is flexor digitorum profundus, and its some fiber originates from upper 3/4 surface of anterior surface and the medial surface. Some fibers originates from medial surface of coronoid process and olecranon process, and rest of fibers originates from posterior border along with flexor carpi ulnaris and extensor carpi ulnaris. So the posterior border serve as common origin site for flexor carpi ulnaris, extensor carpi ulnaris, and some fibers of flexor digitorum profundus. Next muscle is abductor pollicis, extensor pollicis longus, extensor indicis. So all these muscles originates from the lateral part of posterior surface, and this upper red mark area represents the origin of abductor pollicis. This one represents extensor pollicis longus, and this one represents extensor indicis. There is elevated bulge or ridge present on lower anterior surface known as oblique ridge, and the pronator quadratus take origin from oblique ridge. Apart from muscular attachments, there is interosseous membrane which attaches to the lateral border of ulna and medial border of radius. This is the lateral border of ulna. And if we talk about capsular attachments of elbow joint, and it attaches to the margins of coronal process and the olecranon process. So these are some major attachments of ulna.